Well, it finally happened after months, felt like a year almost of Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley, and the Miami Heat having their beef or whatever you want to call it. Jimmy Butler is finally no longer a part of the Miami Heat. They shipped him off today to the Golden State Warriors, a team that Jimmy Butler stated he would not re-sign an extension with, but moments after he was traded, decided to go ahead and sign that extension. Use your head, Jimmy, right? So there's a lot that goes into this. I mean, a lot because evidently this was a 5-team deal, and not to mention Jimmy Butler wasn't even their first option. They pivoted because Kevin Durant, I won't say publicly, but he made it known to somebody, maybe his agent, and his agent got back to Chris Haynes, Shams, and them, and was essentially made it known that he had no interest in joining the Golden State Warriors. So once talks for the Warriors shifted away from Kevin Durant and the Suns, they pivoted to Jimmy Butler, and they got that deal done within hours. That deal, as I said, Jimmy Butler is going from the Miami Heat to Golden State Warriors for Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a protected first-round pick. As a part of the deal, the Warriors' Lindy Waters III and Heat's Josh Richardson are also headed to the Detroit Pistons. Like I said, this was about a 5-team deal. I want to say Chris Haynes said, but I got it all here in front of me. I'm just scrolling the tweets right now because there was so much that came out about this back to back to back. Sham says, new Golden State Warrior Jimmy Butler has agreed on a new 2-year, $121 million extension with the franchise through the 2026-27 season. Butler is declining his 2025-26 player option for this new $121 million deal. A 2-month-long saga between Jimmy Butler and the Heat ends in the trade to Golden State, one of his 4 initial preferred destinations, and a new extension. So yes, initially the Miami Heat was on that short list of teams. It was also the Dallas Mavericks and I want to say the Houston Rockets. Maybe the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not sure. I can't remember who that 4th team was. But Sham said 2 months. This was 2 months publicly after of Jimmy, being in and out of games, getting suspended and things of that nature. This has been going on since the offseason when Pat Riley told him, if you're not playing in the game, he basically told him, shut up. Shut your mouth. You don't need to be talking if you're not out there performing. And it could have went sour before then. We don't really know. But publicly, that's where we see, the cookies start to crumble. Was that instance in the offseason when the Celtics beat the Miami Heat and eliminated them, and Pat Riley had that press conference. But anyways, the Miami Heat also received P.J. Tucker and Andrew Wiggins, obviously, in what is a 5-team deal. Dennis Schroeder is going to Utah. Kyle Anderson is headed to Toronto. So it was it was a 5-team deal. It was the Pistons, the Utah Jazz, the Toronto Raptors, the Miami Heat, and the Golden State Warriors all getting a piece of the pie. I guess we see why it took so long for Jimmy Butler to get traded, because it took for 4 other organizations to get involved for him to be moved. They had to move mountains for this dude, bro. It's insane, especially for the way that he behaved and treated the Miami Heat leading up to this trade. It just wasn't professional at all. Honestly, I got tired of hearing about Jimmy Butler. Hearing his name just was like, oh my God, what else? What's next? You know what I mean? I still love Jimmy Butler as a basketball player. I still think he is a really good basketball player. He just went about things the wrong way in this season, and it's really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It's rubbed a lot of organizations the wrong way as well. Probably why they did not want to pull that trigger for him, and especially because he was just Xing off teams. Like the Memphis Grizzlies was a perfect team for him to go to, and he straight up said no, he would not go there. So he really was trying to get his way into Phoenix because he wanted to play with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, but Bradley Beal was not waiving that no trade clause. So here we are with Jimmy heading to Golden State. Golden State also sent a 2025 top 10 protected pick in that trade. Next year is top 10 protected, and then it will be unprotected the following year if it does not convey. This is a lot, bro. The Heat get PJ Tucker back. Like I said, I knew he would not stay in Utah when they made that trade last week or earlier this week, whenever it was. It says Miami is working through a resolution with Kyle Anderson. Toronto portion fell through. He could stay or be moved. A massive deal with many parts. Okay, so Kyle Anderson is still in Miami because Toronto Raptors trade fell through somehow, some way. So yeah, that's the Jimmy Butler saga to an end, bro. He is now a Golden State Warrior. He will wear the number 10 on his jersey, and hopefully he just starts playing basketball, man. Hopefully we see Jimmy Butler just get back to being Jimmy Butler, his 23 point per game average, and then once the playoffs come around, we know how Jimmy gets down. They did not have to give up Draymond Green like a lot of people speculated, so they still have a very much veteran team, which I find funny. That the Warriors went with that, oh, we don't want to make a win now move to ruin the future or jeopardize the future or something like that, leverage the future. I can't say they did that, honestly. You give up Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, and Kyle Anderson. Those are no pieces that anybody anticipated that would be given up other than maybe, well, Andrew Wiggins and Dennis Schroeder for sure. But you thought for sure you would have to give up a Kuminga or a Moses Moody in that trade, or maybe even a Brandon Podziemski. But they were still able to keep their young core, so I see that as a win for the Warriors, honestly. If Jimmy Butler can come in there with his head screwed on straight, this is a dub for the Warriors, in my opinion, bro. They did not do what they didn't want to do, and that's leverage their future. That's the first big trade for Mike Dunleavy Jr., aside from the Klay Thompson thing from this offseason. Pulling Jimmy Butler, although, like I said, he has not been Jimmy Butler that we know this season, and a lot of that maybe has to do with him, just like he said, not being happy in Miami. Hopefully we get to see a return of who we know he can be on this Golden State Warriors team, in this organization, a winning organization where, championships is the goal. So we'll see. And then, earlier today, while I was at work, I did not get to make a video about this, but I'm glad I waited because I figured something would go down later in the day. The Milwaukee Bucks traded Khris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, and a pick swap to the Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin Jr., and a second-round draft compensation. What does this do for you, Milwaukee? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, Khris Middleton obviously has been injured. He's coming off those 2 ankle surgeries. He has not looked like cash all year. But Kuzma is bad, has been bad. Really bad. And I don't think it's just from him being on a bad team. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe something changes. New environments, people get traded to different teams and they look good. I don't know. Maybe that changes for Kyle Kuzma. He wanted to be out. He wanted to get out for a minute ago, but then signed that extension. He was going to get traded last season, but turned the trade down because he didn't think Dallas was a championship contender, and then they made the NBA Finals. So now, and then he made that tweet about the Detroit Pistons. It's like, at this point, don't be that team, and they are that team this year. So now that he put both feet in his mouth, he now is no longer part of the Washington Wizards. I guess that's a win for him. He doesn't truly care that much. He got his bag, and now he's a part of a winning program now. So, I guess that's good for him. Milwaukee gets under the second apron with this move. Patrick Baldwin Jr. also going to Milwaukee, and A.J. Johnson heading to Washington. The Wizards will receive a 2028 first-round soft swap, and the Bucks get a second-round most favorable in 2025. So those picks are not really solid picks, if you ask me. Soft swap and then most favorable. Obviously the most favorable, but that's the second round. In other news, the Boston Celtics traded Jaden Springer in the 2030 second-round pick to the Houston Rockets. Both teams are also exchanging heavily protected second-round draft picks. So, just a little light trade. The Rockets get another defender that they can throw out there and just cause havoc. So that's great for them. That's great for Jaden Springer. He can go out there and hoop, because being on the Celtics, he wasn't really getting that much burn. Being on the younger team with the Houston Rockets, Ime Udoka was there before. I don't know if Jaden Springer was on that team when Ime was there, though. Either way, he fits right into what they want to do, and that should be seamless for them, honestly. Caleb Martin was traded to the Dallas Mavericks for Quentin Grimes in a 2025 second-round pick. That's another good trade on both ends. You get a guy in Caleb Martin that can stretch the floor for you over in Dallas. He's not as great of a defender as Quentin Grimes was, but he is a solid defender. He can guard 1 through 4. I'm not saying he's the greatest defender, but he can guard 1 through 4. And then for Philly, Quentin Grimes, I love that for them, bro. I truly love that for them. Just another young guy that can come in and score the ball for you off of the bench, or if you want to start him, his defense, like I said, is pretty solid. His 3-point shot has grown since he's gotten more comfortable in the league. So I really like that pickup for the Philadelphia 76ers, man. And another thing about the Jimmy Butler thing before I forget, there was a tweet yesterday where I think Chris Haynes put out that Jimmy Butler wanted to repair the relationship with the Miami Heat. He said he was ready to come back and continue his career and get through all the hardship and, everything, put everything in the past that they just went through for the past few months. And I just thought that was funny. Like, Jimmy has to backpedal on everything that he said and did because he shot himself in the foot. Just doing everything that transpired over the past couple months. He's really put himself in a bad spot. Luckily, he was able to get somewhere that he wanted to go. It wasn't the spot, but it's somewhere. It's a close second. So, and then he said he wouldn't sign the extension in Golden State, so don't trade him there. That just came out yesterday as well. Then he ended up getting traded there, and then moments later, it comes out that he signed the extension. So it's like, at this point, bro, just go out there and hoop. Please. Please just go out there and hoop. What do we have? What else we got over here? I'm trying to look. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, there was a lot going on. Even earlier today, like smaller trades like the Washington Wizards trading Jonas Valanciunas to the Sacramento Kings for Sidi Sudoku and a second-round pick. Or what was that? 2 second-round picks. And then you had, Daniel Tice got traded to the Thunder for draft compensation. Trading Daniel Tice and draft compensation to the Thunder. I don't know what came of that trade, what other details are in that trade, but we now have another big man that can go out there, rebound the basketball, stretch the floor, play a little bit of defense. We have a rotation of players that can go out there and guard Jokic. Is essentially what we're trying to do. So shout out to Sam Presti again, bro, making the moves, bro, making the moves. That's a big brain play for down the line. If y'all don't know that already. And yeah, bro, I think that's it. Other than the Warriors really wanted to go after Kevin Durant and they weren't able to, I think that's pretty much it. We still do have the Luka video that I'm planning on doing, full breakdown of that trade and what it does and blah blah blah. We have another 12-ish, 13, 14 hours until the trade deadline. So if anything else happens, of course, y'all will hear from me. Y'all will see me tomorrow. But that's if anything happens. If not, y'all will see me this weekend. Hopefully, because I will be busy this weekend. Y'all will hear from me pretty soon with a full breakdown of the trade deadline, whether that's just me solo or if I'm able to get the guests that I've been trying to get onto the podcast for months now. Then y'all hear from me. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Jimmy Butler is now a Golden State Warrior. Andrew Wiggins is in the Miami Heat jersey. And a 5-team deal to get Jimmy Butler moved is crazy. Them striking out on Kevin Durant. I mean, you gotta come on. He left for that reason. He don't want to be second fiddle to Stephen Curry. They didn't accept him as Kevin Durant. They accepted him as Steph Curry's sidekick. Whether you're an MVP or not, you're a scoring champion or not, this is Steph's city. This is Steph's team. Aside from the shit that happened with Draymond Green, he left because he wanted to be his own man on his own team, and that's why he went to Brooklyn. That's a reason he went to Brooklyn. It didn't really work out the way it did because of the COVID thing, and they held back Kyrie. And then you had James Harden injury. I think KD even got hurt for a little bit, so it just didn't go as planned. And then now in Phoenix, it's not going too great. So I think he just, after everything, just want to stick it out in Phoenix and try to make that work, because going back to Golden State, it would be like, oh, well, you needed Steph to win. You went back twice. You really ain't like that. Like, you know how, I mean, Kevin Durant don't give a damn nowadays, bro, but it's just like, who wants that on their legacy? You know what I mean? So, as tarnished as it already is, one of the greatest players I've ever seen play basketball, definitely in my top 5 favorite players of all time. It would have been a bad move. So Shout out for KD for standing 10 because he had the Suns rolling before he went down earlier in the season. It just hasn't been their year, bro. It just has not been their year. Last year wasn't their year. I don't know, bro. I don't know what they're going to do. But anyways, like I said, I got to get out of here. It is late. I have work in the morning and I have school tomorrow. If anything else happens, y'all will hear from me. But as always, it's your boy Reese the Sideline. I don't have my Enjoy Basketball hat on, but we are enjoyers of basketball. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.